Hello once again everyone, Original Blood Ice back again with another video. Now, the actual topic is not just based off what you can see here where Batman Arkham Knight gets a mature rating. This is going to be a discussion on the subject, somewhat anyway, of people's perception of a good game and a game's rating being rated M for mature. So, first of all, let me just say right off the bat, first of all, this is the first Batman game to be rated M, so whatever. Whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing is irrelevant. And I just want to say right off the bat, before we dig into this, that I don't give a shit personally either way. If it's rated T or rated M, I don't believe that that will affect the fun value of the title. Now, let's get into the discussion. Oh, and I should say, first of all, that they did this because they didn't want to water down the game. So is that them saying that they did water down Arkham Asylum and Arkham City? I don't think so. But either way, the topic, more importantly, is... Now, this was from, when I was reading the comments, this is what triggered me to come up with the idea for this video. How many people do you think out there that you know buy games that are rated M because they're rated M? Because to me, it seems like there's an awful lot, now mostly PlayStation and Xbox gamers, there's a lot of people out there that buy a game because it's rated M, because they say, oh, look, a rated M game, that's got to be, you know, violent and gory, and that's got to be one of the best kinds of games out there, right? Now, I don't personally believe that that's a true thing that you should believe, but there are people out there that do this, that think that way. Now, personally, I would rather play Mario Kart 8, a rated E game, over something like, you know, Gears of War or Grand Theft Auto. And then you throw into the whole mix where so many kids don't play games that are actually made for their age group. Now, I'm not saying, oh, if it's rated E, it's only for kids, because E stands for everyone, not kids. But so many fucking kids are playing rated M games because they think it's cool. And it's because the parents themselves are being poor parents. They want these games to be a babysitter for kids. It's ironic how many times the term babysitter comes up with video games, especially when I talk about Nintendo babysitting the kids. But even video games from any console these days are used as a babysitter. So many parents are like, oh, my kid's screaming and hollering and he wants something. Fine, I'll get it for him, even though I shouldn't probably. And then you're like, here's, fine, go play Call of Duty, go play Grand Theft Auto 5. Just go be distracted over there and leave me alone and let me get some peace and quiet. And that's a damn shame that so many people, including kids, are playing games that are rated M. Now, again, this isn't necessarily all gamers, but so many of them are playing games strictly and buying them just because they're rated M. I don't believe, let's get back on topic here kind of with Batman, I don't think it personally needs to be rated M. I don't really think it really brings anything to the table. Now you could say, oh, well, you know, they can do a darker story. I'm fine with that. But for example, if they wanted to make it rated M, so they could, you know, make Batman break people's arms and rip them off, and where you can actually see their, arms dislocated and, you know, blood spraying off and, from, punching a guy in the face and blood shoots out his nose, and Batman saying, you know, drop your weapon, motherfucker, and all that shit, and if characters start swearing every fucking sentence, then no, I'm not open to that. There are games that have been rated M that really, frankly, don't even need to be rated M. Halo, for example, is rated M. And it doesn't even need to be. There's no, sexual things in it. There's no drugs references. There's no, over-the-top violence, like in GTA or something. I feel like it's only rated M to try and add fuel to that whole fire of, oh, real men play rated M games, and the whole Xbox is for the core gamer, the hardcore gamer. I feel like that's the only reason that Halo is rated M, because it really doesn't need to be. It could be rated T, and it's, a more accurate statement. And so many people, back on topic of the kids here, they get their parents or their older siblings or their grandparents, an aunt, an uncle, whatever, to buy them these games. And even, I have a personal story here. Actually, I got two stories. One, for me personally, I didn't own a rated M game till I turned 17. I had played them before, but I had never owned any before. I wasn't allowed to. But Whatever. Then my other story, when I was at EB Games, I think I mentioned this before. When I was at EB Games, this kid, about 8 or 10 years old, came in with his dad, I guess, traded in like 5 Xbox games. There was like Halo 3, some Call of Duty game, and he only got like $20 credit towards it, and he wanted to put it towards GTA 5 for, I forget if he has an Xbox One or PS4. I'm guessing one or the other. Whoops, stupid screen going black again. I wish I could disable that setting. Anyway, and so the kid, his dad pays the other 40, 45 bucks, whatever, to get his kid, who's like 8 or 10 years old, not Call of Duty, GTA 5. And I was just thinking, dude, why? Now granted, I'm not a parent, and I'm not, able to control other people's parents and tell them, like, what you should and shouldn't do. I can say recommendations. There's a rating on a game for a reason, although these days that rating seems to be completely pointless and irrelevant since no one seems to pay fucking attention to it. And it also reminds me when I was talking with that guy at EB Games, where he was talking about when he was working at a different EB Games before, one of his coworkers had sold a Call of Duty game, I think it was Black Ops or whatever, to this woman for her kid. She came back the next day and got mad at him, not the guy who actually sold it, but got mad at him, saying, how could you, sell me this game to my kid? It has guns and violence and everything. And he was just like, did you not look at the cover? The cover has a guy holding a gun. It's rated M. Did you not notice this? So, again, do games that are rated M, does that automatically equal that they're better than a rated E game or a rated T game? No. In my personal opinion, no, it doesn't. There are good rated M games, don't get me wrong. And there are good rated E games and rated T games. Smash Bros. Is rated T. Mario Kart, I think, is rated E, I'm pretty sure. Batman Arkham Knight going to be rated M this time? Fine, whatever. It doesn't change the fact that I was going to get this game anyway. Hell, they could have made it rated E. I'd be a little confused, but I would have still got it, because Rocksteady is a good developer. But so many people are getting, they're like, oh, look at I'm pretty sure the Order 1886 is rated M. And people get that, and Battlefield, and COD, and Gears of War, and God of War, all of these rated M games. And do they really match up? Even if you compare a rated M game that's good to a rated M game that has a lot of hype and it's not, like Watch Dogs. It was an okay game. Okay, failed to meet the hype. And it was rated M, which, again, that really didn't even need to be rated M in my opinion. And then if you look at, say, Bayonetta 2, rated M on the Wii U, and it actually deserved the title, with all the, crotch shots of Bayonetta, and this constant swearing from that one dude, I forget his name, so forth, so on, and of course the over-the-top violence. But people didn't buy Bayonetta 2 because it was rated M. People bought it because it's a Platinum Games game. They know that it's going to be a fun, solid game. Very polished. Yet, so many times, and I've said this a few times now, people buy a rated M game simply because it's rated M. Because they think, oh, real men play rated M. And the ironic thing is they're not even men. They're kids. And they're trying to grow up faster than they really should. I'm going to tell you this. I'm only 24. But you don't realize if you're a kid, once you're like, 18 or so, your childhood's gone. You can be a kid at heart, and still enjoy the same things. But your life ain't as easy as it was when you were a kid. So don't be in a rush to grow up. There's a reason that the ESRB, I believe that's the initials, makes these ratings for games. Now people say, oh, they're not rules, they're guidelines. I disagree. What is it exactly? It's like rated M is for 17 and up. Now granted, I would be a little bit lenient, say I was a parent, which I'm not. I'd probably be like, oh, you're 16, oh, close enough, you can play a rated M game. That's, you're not going to get any more mature in 1 year. But what was I going to say? I totally lost track of my thought here. Oh yeah, the ESRB, that's what it was. So, if you're 17 or up, you can buy a rated M game without having a parent there, or a guardian, or someone who's old enough to buy it for you. That's what it is. It's not a guideline. It's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be, oh, you want to buy a rated M game? If you're not 17 or older, you need someone else who is legal age, or not legal age, but, 17 or older to buy it for you. And I still think stores should absolutely refuse to do that. Like, if they see a kid there with him, if you hear the kid talking like, oh, thank you for buying this for me, they should flat out refuse to sell the game there. And I get it, a business's job is to make money. But at the same time, why would you really be fine selling something a kid shouldn't have to a kid? I mean, what's next? People saying, oh, you have to be 17 to buy drugs. And then it's like, oh, you're, 14 years old and you want your older brother to buy you drugs, so that's fine. I mean, not quite the same example there, or comparison, but point still stands. You're supposed to be a certain age for this, and it's just being ignored. And then parents are, getting that whole, oh, kids are impressionable, violent video games, blah, blah. It's like you're the fucking dumbasses who are buying them for them because you don't want to be a parent and you don't want to raise your kid properly. Now, I'm not saying all rated M games are going to be bad for kids, because they're not. But a lot of them, like GTA, kids shouldn't be playing. It's just a damn shame that when I was a kid, we grew up with the NES, the SNES, the N64. And yes, there was a few rated M games back then. I'm pretty sure, was Perfect Dark rated M? I think it was, and such like that. But it's still, it wasn't to the extent of violence that it is today in rated M games, So, I don't know, I feel like I'm starting to babble on here. My original point was that so many people, at least in my view, in my opinion, that so many people just buy rated M games because they're rated M. It's like a competition. Who can have the most rated M games in their collection? Like, I don't even know how many I have in mine. I have one rated M Wii U game, which is Bayonetta 1 and 2. I'll probably have a second one, which will be Devil's Third. And, yeah. Is Destiny rated M or is it rated T? I can't even remember now. I think it's actually rated T. Bloodborne will probably be rated M. I guess Batman, so I'll have 2 PS4 rated M games. But for me personally, I mean, I'm already past the point where I can buy any game I want because of my age, whatever. But the rating of a game to me has no effect if I'm going to get it or not. I'll watch trailers, I'll watch gameplay, I'll watch a Nintendo Direct, whatever it may be, whatever social way of watching content of a game. I will decide what games I want based on gameplay, how much fun it looks, is it a new and original idea, is it something we've seen 100,000 fucking times? If it's something, bright and colorful and new, like Splatoon, I'm all for it. I'm jumping on board. Or even Captain Toad. But if it's something generic, if it's something we've seen released on a console the past year over and over again, where it's just, dark colors, blacks and grays and browns, and it's violent, and it's you holding a gun, and it's you killing either aliens, mutants, or zombies or something, then I don't want anything to do with it. And frankly, I don't consider those to be good games. They may be okay games, but can you really keep saying game after game that's rated M that, oh yeah, it's a good game, it's a good game, it's a good game, when they're all the same formula? And they're all borrowing things from each other. I don't believe so. I don't believe so. I'm not saying games like GTA suck, even though I've said that before. If you like it, whatever, fine. You can somehow get enjoyment out of it. That's your business. But if you buy a game just because it's rated M, like if you're a brand new gamer to the 8th generation, like, you're not a casual coming to the gamers, or to the generation, you're actually, like, a gamer from generations and generations, and then you see on the shelf, an Xbox One, a PS4, and a Wii U, and say they each come with one game. Say, you could have Zelda Wii U come with Zelda, or with the Wii U. Say you could have Halo 5 come with that, and say you could have Uncharted 4 with PS4. What would you go for? Probably most people would pick Uncharted, because just looking at the PS4 sales. But personally, and this has nothing to do with being a Nintendo fan or whatever, let's strip away my loyalty to Nintendo, even though I don't have that much loyalty these days. Let's say I was never a gamer for the past 19 years of my life, right? Let's say I walked into a game store, I wanted to see what all the hubbub about gaming was, and I saw those 3 bundles side by side on the counter. I'd probably ask a few questions to be like, I'd probably ask a simple question for each one. I'd be like, what is each of those games about? And then they'd say, well, Uncharted, you know, you're going on an adventure, you're climbing around things, you're exploring, looking for treasure, you're killing guys. I'd be like, okay, tell me about this Halo game, Halo 5. They'd be like, well, you're a, you know, futuristic Spartan character who, it takes place in space, and you're on other planets, and there's, you know, you shoot aliens and you kill them. And so I'd be like, okay, another game where you kill stuff, great. And now tell me about this Zelda game over here. And then they'd be like, oh, well, it's a big, huge, open-world adventure where, you know, you do kill enemies, but you use a sword, and it's, you know, more fantasy than just, you know, pointless violence. So, and there's a random little message that popped up on there. That's kind of weird. Anyway, and they'd say it's not about killing things. It's about starting off on a journey, learning the story of Link, or whatever you decide to call your character in that game, you know, and saving the world from evil. And I'd be like, great, that's the one I want. Because while there is killing in Zelda, I mean, you smack something with a sword. There's no blood flying off. They just go, ah, and then they go poof into a cartoony puff of smoke like in Wind Waker or whatever, you know? So, anyway, I've babbled on and on long enough. My original point, once again, I want to reiterate, is how many people do you know that buy games that are just rated M because they're rated M? Because they naturally think, oh, it's rated M, that means it's going to be a good game. Because, again, I don't believe just because it's rated M, it means it's good. I really don't. Anyway, I'm Original Blood Ace. As always, stay tuned, more videos coming soon. I got one more to do where we're going to talk about some things Iwata said. So, of course, stay tuned for that. We'll see you next time.